Welcome everyone. This is Will, KMAC Vintage. Welcome to the three that are already in, well, to the two that are already in the chat, Flint and Scott. Welcome. I hope the sound and the audio, while the audio and the picture are good, and I'm presuming it is. Let's see here. Yeah, recording is coming, audio's going through. Okay, it looks good to me. I'm assuming y'all can hear me okay. Give me a message or something, let me know it's good, the video looks good. I was hoping that I would be able to do this broadcast yesterday. Picture good, audio good. All right, thanks, Flint. I was hoping I was able to do this broadcast yesterday, but the I didn't get as far as I wanted, and I was too tired. So anyway, this is a continuation on the SE30 reloaded board. This board originally came from actually Scott. Sent it in. It was a very badly battery bombed board. So before I even had the board, before I even had it in my hands, I already ordered replacement boards out of China, and for them to go to actually Florida, because I was anticipating that I would have to do a transfer. And I ordered a lot of parts too already, but I didn't use too many of them because I wanted to use as much original from the board as I could. So to give you all a little update on it, let me switch cameras here. This was the original board from Scott, and you can see how much of it I have taken off. Starting from up here, I took off these two chips. Just every single chip came off, okay? Except for the RTC, which was already actually destroyed. That was not usable. Okay, I tried to take off this ROM SIM socket, but it is caked on in there. There's some of the solder that I can't even get out, and I don't want to bust the pins or anything, so I just stopped there. The actually RAM SIMs, I didn't take them out yet. I'm planning on taking them out because they are very actually useful. Okay, I guess for the first time ever in a board that I worked on, I did not take off caps. I actually left the caps because I don't need to take them off. Sockets I left, this I left because I'm pretty sure it's also caked in there with some bad solder points. Okay. Every chip came off, like I said, every single one of them. What I did not take off, that's funny. Oh yeah, no, that's where a capacitor was. That's why there's a piece of metal there. I did not take off these two transistors. These two diodes over here were already missing, so I didn't have to worry about that. The power connector, floppy and SCSI, I had new, so I put those in new. The two keyboard and the serial printer and the audio I had new, so I did not take those out. But you can see here I had to take out I would say 95% of the stuff came off the board. From the back side, the only thing I had to take off were the items that are marked L, which are the actually ferret beads, they're called. I had to take those off. And it's funny, last night when I was taking them off and transferring them, I thought it was only 10 of them, but then it still wouldn't work. And then I went back and looked, and I found 3, 4, 5 more I had to do. So once I did those 5, then the machine came actually alive, because when I went to look at the actually schematics, I was like, I don't remember doing those. And then I went to the board and looked, and correct, I didn't do them. So that's all I had to take off the back. So it was actually 15 of those L items. And basically everything else that you see here that's missing. Okay. Chip wise, I really did not replace. I didn't. it wasn't until this morning that I went and replaced a couple chips because I didn't like how they looked and so forth. But let me get to actually that story. So this is the old board. Yes, poor board. Uh, Worst condition I've ever seen yet. Battery leaked. Yeah, the battery here leaked on this corner here, in this area, but then ran to here because underneath this one is also so much corrosion. So really, the RTC chip, the actually crystal, the two diodes that were here, along this row of chips here, was really bad. Remember what I said about this row here of chips were really bad because these three chips here are the three that I came back this morning and I actually replaced on the new board because I didn't like how they looked. The legs were not grabbing onto the solder. They weren't holding good, and whatever I tried, I could not clean them good. So I just took them off, and I put on new ones. I actually had new ones that I bought. And there was one actually resistor pack over here too that I swapped out. There was another, yeah. Well, this was a resistor pack and two of these chips, but I did actually three of these chips that I changed. These three and one actually resistor pack. Um, Yes, I had to go back to the ferret beads because when I ordered the board, the actually build list and what the factory put on that made the board was only the resistors and the capacitors. The actually ferret beads were not in the data file from actually Bowl, so they were not put on. Sorry, the actually diodes for the memory was also put on already. So everything on the back except for the ferret beads were actually put on. So I had to go back and put those on. I wish I didn't have to, but anyway, it is. But what I'm glad about it is that I mean I did order 15 of these boards, and I gave two to actually Jake. Jake is not able to join today because he's out at lunch right now with some people, so he's not he. I sent him actually two of the boards, and then I sold three of them to people up in the States. That one is some that actually cost. And then one is being used now. So I still got nine more. I still got nine more of these I can do. So anyone have any more SE30s that want done? Yeah, I can do it. We can discuss the price. It depends on how much has to be replaced new and what all can be done. So let's get this out of the way. Uh, yeah. So Scott, I'm gonna mention what you told me earlier that this machine belonged to your uncle. I think it was. You said, was it? Yes, it was his personal one. So, and you're glad you wanted to actually save it for that, but well, I think 95% of it you got back original. The only thing you don't have original is what you see here. So it's just a board, a couple connectors, and that, and really none of these things are really any of the brains, any of the main parts of it. They're just connectors. Let's just call it that because these are all connectors, 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 connectors. So 95% of it you got back original, and you got a brand new board and some brand new connectors. So anyway, to show you what it looks like now, this is it now. Okay. I'm gonna go a bit more lower. Okay, so audio jack on here is new. These two are new. The two keyboards are new. These are the original ones because it's very hard to get 19 pin. I do have 25 pins coming. I do have those up in Florida. Um, RAM sockets are new. These are single. I put them all on, and then I went to put in the ROM, and I broke two of them already. So Scott, if you're gonna change memory on this, be very careful. They are Although they are new old stock, so the plastic is a bit brittle. Make sure you always you don't just push it and let it clip in. Assist it as much as possible because it is very brittle. This ROM socket is one that I took off of a different board of mine that I have. My so I just borrowed it from that board to put onto here for now because um, at first I mean at first I was gonna try to use these four ROM sockets. Okay, and I put in the actually socket holder. I have the chips for it that actually Jake sent me, and Jake was not sure if these were good or bad, but he sent them to me anyway. Just a little while ago, I got an email from someone on the chat on the actually forum about the actually jumpers on the back and that. I don't think we would have ever gotten this to work because even though yes, I do have to jump it on the back where you have the V. I need to join those two pads on either side. I did do that, okay, earlier this morning, but it still didn't work because it turns out that the data lines on these are in actually reverse order to the ROM sim. So I'm not sure what they mean by that is that then instead of the actually low chip being over here, it's got to go over here, and it's got to be backwards. Or if you have to program your own chips, reverse the data lines in the ROM and program your own chips and then put them in. So if it is that, I would have never gotten it to work because no matter how much I tried, these ROMs would have never worked then. So, so good thing that I did decide this morning to put in the SIM socket. This is the original ROM SIM from you, Scott. I did clean the point. I did clean all the pads. And I checked it, and it's good. It works. Okay. Clock chip. This is the actually RTC. I took this from a donor plus that I have. It is socketed, and one pin is partially broken. That's how it was on the plus, but it seems to still work. So because I took another one off of a working plus that I have, and it worked too. So I put this one back in with that leg broken, and it works fine. Remember earlier I said I replaced some of these chips because of how it was corroded. Originally the chip that was here, I put here, and it never took solder good, so I did actually replace that one this morning. And I replaced these two because they were the ones that were originally here. But when I put them on this new board, I put them here. But this morning I changed them. So you got 3 chips there that are new. All right, all the rest here are the originals. All these are the originals. I did program some GAL chips this morning because these have been actually reverse engineered. These are PAL chips in here now, but Bull and them have taken these and they have actually reverse engineered them and wrote the code that you can get, that you can program your own GAL chips and put in here. I did do that for me to try it, but that was when I still had this ROM in here. With that, let's see here, hold on. So, a lot of people chatting. Yes, your uncle, funny, didn't realize you had to go back. Okay. No, this is not the actually original RTC chip, okay? That original RTC chip I have somewhere. I have it sitting somewhere. It broke completely. What I meant was that the RTC chip that I took off of my actually donor board, off of my actually plus donor board that I have, had a broken leg. It wasn't completely broken, it was just half of it broken. So that chip is what is here now still, okay? Even with that half broken leg, it is in the socket and it's working. Maybe that pin is not even connected, I don't know, but it is working. Okay, but yes, this is your SIM and your RAM. Okay, it's got the new battery connector in it. I put in a fresh new battery. These are original. Like I said, I did program some PAL chips this morning and I put them in and tried it. It did not improve my issue. This was before I changed the ROM. So I went back to the original PAL chips. I put them in here. My GAL chips, I actually erased them and I put them back into my stock. This is the video RAM here. Video RAM. These are the controllers for the video and all that. So these are all good. Crystals are good. Power connectors new. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see. Okay. Okay. Power connectors new. Audio speakers the same one. All these chips are the actually original chips. Okay. I socketed wherever I could. I just didn't have sockets for the actually video RAM, so I left those directly on the board. There is a new actually reset button. The NMI is the original button. I had a reset issue, so that's why I changed the switch, because to see if that was the problem. Even these three resistor packs, I actually socketed them. So if any of them go bad, it's going to be a really easy change. Okay, even this guy over here is actually socketed. Exactly what that does, I don't know. But anyway, I did buy some of them, but I do have them, but this one worked. I had to take off the original fuses from your board and transfer them to here and that diode. These are all brand new caps. The crystals are, this is original crystal, this is original crystal. This one up here is a new one because the original was actually missing completely. CPU, oh my God, I gotta tell you. This one here, I, anyway, I took it off of the other board, right? And some of the pins, some of the socketed pins, because all that this is really is when you pop this off, it's a raised piece of plastic. I mean, when you flip it over, it's got a bunch of honeycomb holes on the back, and it's got pins that actually slide in. Okay, and you can pop that off. I mean, those pins come out. So when I was taking this off, a lot of the pins actually stayed back in the board because they were still soldered a little bit, which was fine. Once I had it off, completely off, then I could undo those pins and so forth. And when I come to the end, I am short 2 pins. I'm like, oh crap. If I don't find those 2 pins, I can never test this, and I don't have a replacement socket. So here I am looking everywhere. Okay. I find 1 pin in my lap. Sitting right there on my shorts. And so I was so short 1. I slowly stood up, shook off my clothes onto the floor. I checked my chair and all that. I think I spent an hour on the floor with my hand sweeping on my whole desk area here, everywhere. Thank God I've got tile. I don't have carpeting. I mean, by hand, sweeping everywhere, bringing it into a pile, and then with my magnifying goggles, these things, sitting down there with my flashlight, shining through all of the debris that I swept up by hand to try to find that pin, and I couldn't find it. No, I mean, 1 pin short. So then I was like, you know what? It's got to be somewhere. So I took the old original board and I just did this. Okay, and then I moved it, and goddamn, right there was the pin. That whole time it was stuck on the board somewhere, and I couldn't see it. So anyway, I found the pin, got it back in there, and got the socket put in and everything. So the other thing I did with the board this morning, because there was so much flux everywhere. I mean, it was just flux central. It was crazy. Everywhere I touched was just sticky. I basically soaked it in alcohol for about 30 minutes, and then with a light brush, brushed it all off and cleaned it good and everything, and then I baked it out in the sun. So now, what was I getting? Last night I was getting a very funky screen. I was weird and all that, and couldn't figure it out. So, so my hunch was the ROM. It kept on being the ROM, but there was some information about that type of screen that was video RAM related, or the video buffers, address lines, which are controlled by these four chips here. Okay, so I did clean these off. I took them off and I put them back on. I checked the video RAM and everything. I didn't find a problem. Then I was like, you know what? Let me just go with my gut feeling. I took off the four sockets from here. I got the ROM sim from my other board. I took the ROMs. I took the ROM sim that actually Scott sent, cleaned it, checked, fixed up all the points, all the contact points, tinned it again, and put it in here. Okay, and I put in the memory. I did change one of the sockets. I still got to change one more. So where were we with it? Well, let's find out. So this is a SE. This is not an SE30, but it's fine. I just need a board with a screen. I'm gonna put this so that you can see it from here. Okay. You're wondering what I'm doing with the power thing here? All I have is a normal ATX power supply cable. All right, this is an actually extender. Amazingly, it does plug in directly from the SE or SE30 or whatever. It does plug in directly. I mean, I didn't have to make any changes or anything. It does fit in exactly. Okay. The only thing I had to do was down here on the board where this connects in, unless I go and I actually cut this, but I don't want to cut this, okay, because it is nice and pretty yellow, bright yellow. Anyway, so when I plug it in, it does hit this cap, it does hit this axial. So because I don't need it, I did break that one pin off there. Okay, because technically this side I don't need. I bought this really because I'm gonna be making an actually Frankenstein power supply for my for my 950 board, and for that power supply is gonna be an actually ATX power supply. So I need a cable like actually this that I can cut I can cut here, and I have a breakout board especially made for this that I'm gonna use to convert over to my Quadra 950 board. Okay, so with this now, with that pin missing, I can actually plug that right into the board. There we go. It's in. See, that's it. I didn't have to make any changes. All right, I'm gonna put in SCSI. I just stay in there. See what I mean by the plastic? You gotta be very careful. Don't put pressure in the wrong places. I'm actually gonna turn this. Okay, so that's connected, and I have a speaker here somewhere. And where's my power? Okay, now please work, I hope. Time. Turn this light so there's a screen coming up. You can see SCSI booting. Look at that. Sorry on that flashing on that. I don't know how to change that. I don't know what I need to do that. Yes, I'm so glad I found that pin. You have no idea. I mean, I would I don't have no other socket. I couldn't find any of those to buy. I looked because I wanted to buy as much as I could for this board to use new. But then, even with having all of the new items I did, I barely used any of them because I wanted to actually preserve as much of the original board. Okay, I mean that's the function with this hobby. It is to restore and actually preserve what we have, right? And what's the point in putting in new? You want to restore, you want to preserve the actually original stuff. Um, so only where it was a dire necessity that I use new. I mean, for these connectors on the back here, I could have unsoldered them from there, but I didn't. I mean, really, this whole board, what you see here, when did I start this? I started this on Friday. I mean, I think I worked on it a good 10 hours Friday, if not a bit more. Yesterday, about the same thing. So let's just call it 12 and 12, 24 hours. And today, today I haven't been that heavy onto it. It wasn't as much work. Today was more problem solving. Because I didn't have it doing this last night. I mean, it was only when I switched the ROM did it actually boot up. And as you can see, it's now booting up. I have everything. Um, Control panel, there it comes. Sound, the volume is already up. So all that is working. I mean, the screen is looking nice and crisp. Other than that flashing, I'm sorry. I don't know how I can, what I can do to change that. Desk cam. Somebody said something about the frame rate. I'm at 30 frames there. 15. I see, it's still doing it. And to think, when you first started talking about having to go to the reloaded route, you were thinking it may take you beyond. Yeah, because I really didn't remember. This is my first one. I mean, a lot of you still don't believe me that I just started this year. I mean, I never been into this stuff. I mean, it's just this year that I started doing this. That hold on. I'm still trying to figure out how I can do this frame rate. 24 don't work. 20. 20 is a bit better. It's not flashing so much. Anyway, I don't know what to do about that frame rate. At least now you can see it a bit more before it goes black and gives you that flashing. So anyway, I don't see anything video format. I don't see anything on here that I can do to fix that. Or is it the 80 megahertz that does it 50 hertz? No, that still does it the same. Anyway, so it works. I mean, I got it working, and it never went this far before I switched the ROM. Like I said, uh, Alflint. I mean, if they watch the videos, they'll see how I am devoted to it, how much I like it. I mean, as far as I know, you are the first person to do as a reloaded transfer on actually live stream. On somewhat live stream, yes, I have found a couple more videos of it out there. I mean, I am. I actually started it on that 3.5 hour live stream, and then I did some updates as I was going because some of the work would have been very boring for y'all to watch. Honestly, it would have been so boring. Um, so I am pleased with how it came out. Um, It is a lot of soldering. It is a lot of that, but I mean, I feel I upped my level of soldering on this board. I learned some things. I even experimented some different ways of soldering these bigger ones. Um, and I learned some ways that work better than others. But that's one of the things about me, though. I mean, y'all remember I test everything after I solder it, and even so, I went back and tested again and looked with my microscope, and that's how I can find that I had some problems. I mean, for me to show you how I look, that's the wrong mouse. Well, yeah, I need this mouse because I need to shut this down. Okay, let me undo this for a minute. I mean, some of you have not seen this, but like if I need to check on something, I'm gonna go to my scope view here. Okay, like if I need to check on some soldering, okay, my microscope is right now hanging off of my desk. Okay, this is the edge of my desk here, where my finger is. Right here, okay, is the edge of my desk. So I can tilt this, you see, and depending how I focus it or how I zoom it, I can see the connections, you see. So I can see what the connections are with the board. All right, and then I can turn it this way, and I can see more. You you see that? So I have it. So the board right now, if you were to look at, I mean, I have it hanging off of my desk. I'm just holding it in my hand, and with this, I can see just about every solder joint. You see, and that's how I find them. That's how I can find some of these to actually see. And you see how that crystal is blocking my view? This is where I learn now, okay, well, if I do another one of these, do the chips first and then come back and then do the other items. This way you can inspect everything. Okay? So, I mean, I still have, like here, I have, I don't know, I may still change them, okay? Scott, I may not be done soldering on this board yet. Okay. Let me show you here what I mean by that. Okay, you see how this chip is? You see some of these legs here? It's not taking solder like this one here. Okay, it's not taking solder very good. This chip has some battery acid on it. Okay, so I don't like that leg. Okay, so I may still, and this one here too. This one I don't find it soldering on good, and I've tried to fix it. Okay, but it's just the metal. The metal's corroded so much, and it's taken off what it had on it that it doesn't want to attach anymore. You see, same thing here. As soon as you start seeing some of this, okay. I mean, I've tried to clean some of them. This one is holding better. Okay, but those are some of the things that I found that I didn't like. Okay, and I mean, I don't want to give you a half-ass working board. I mean, this board now may end up lasting 40 years after I'm dead and gone. You never know, right? Anyway, what's saying here? I believe it was almost there for almost the whole time. Trust me when I say I would be. Yeah, well, the thing was too that I want to try to send you this board when I come up to Florida next month, which I'm coming up on the 19th. I already have, let's see here, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14 boards that I'm coming back with for people. Okay, so anyway, Yeah, so that's how I can see. I hang this over I hang this over my desk. Okay, and where then I can see. Oh, come on. I hang it off my desk to where then I can see what is connected and what's not. You see, you see how that looks. So that's how I see it. As long as all those are making contact, I'm good and happy. And if I'm not sure, I come like this with my pick and I try to move the leg. And if it doesn't move, look at all that flux that's still in there. I need to send this through the ultrasonic cleaner. See, that's the CPU, and there are the pins underneath there that actually fit inside. So anyway, um, now this morning, or after I did the ROM, I was still having a problem with it that it did not want to reset. The machine did not. I would push the reset button, and it did not want to reset. Okay, whatever I did, it just did something weird. Okay, it kind of reset and kind of did not. So it had a. Okay, there we are coming back up. Oh, your mother-in-law was watching it too. Yeah, this is your board. It will come in. It'll be coming back home for you. Whatever I did, that video looks a lot better now. Oh, there it goes. I spoke too early. Anyway, it looks better than it was. Anyway, so I was having a problem with the actually reset. Okay, I would push the reset button here, and it would just blink the screen and then come right back. I mean, it wouldn't do. You see, now it did a full actually reset. You see, and it should be booting back up. You see, and it wasn't doing that. Okay, and I went back to the schematic and look and look and look, and like any Apple product, the sound chips is what controls the actually reset signal. Don't ask me why the sound chips, but it's the sound chips do it. Okay, even on bigger Macs, on the CI, on the SI boards, on all the other ones, it's all. Oh, that's the beep because it didn't turn off correctly. Okay, we're good. Okay, so I was like, okay, I went back and looked, and the reset button, when you push it, it goes through a resistor and power. It comes in on both chips on actually leg 6. Okay, leg actually 6 is what sends in the voltage to the chip. Okay, and I was getting that. I was getting 5 volts coming in, and when I pushed the button on, it would actually um, drop drop down to 0 on actually one of them, but not the other. And I was like, okay, that's kind of strange. Then I went and looked at actually pin 5. Now pin 5 is on each, well, on the second one mainly. The second one is the one that would then. The second one was the one that was doing. Is the one that was sending the signal out to all the other chips that you need to actually reset. Now, a reset signal, it's got high and low. A 5 volts is high, zero is actually low. Okay, so when you hit the reset, it goes from 5 to 0. It comes low, and that low signal is what tells all the other chips, okay, you need to actually reset. Then it goes back to high. On this chip, that was not happening. Okay, and I went and looked, and both of the chips are the same. Okay, they're actually identical chips. But I was like, I was sitting here with my scope. I mean, I have a small little scope that and I have a bigger one, but I like the small little one quite a bit more because it's so easy to actually use, and I can have it right here next to me. See, so and that way then I can put it somewhere where actually you can see it too. Okay. Right now it may not register anything because it's yeah, you see it's not gonna register anything right now because the voltage is actually it is way too high. It's okay. So you see right now this signal is actually high. Okay, because that line this line is above is actually above zero. But once I hit reset, you're gonna see that line come down to zero. You see? Now it's back up. That is the actually reset signal. So the sound chip is getting the signal and it's sending it out correctly. Okay, and on the other chip, it was doing the same thing too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, that's high. 6 is also going to be high because that is the voltage coming in. Okay, and then five is the signal going out to all the other chips. Okay, so I was getting the problem that it wasn't doing it. It was not resetting. So I wasn't seeing that as a signal. So I was like, okay, well, both of these chips are the same. But I was like, what the hell? I actually took them out and I just swapped them around. I just put this one here and this one here. Plugged it back in, the reset actually started working. Don't ask me why, it just started working. So I guess maybe it wasn't sitting in good, it wasn't making good contact, and when I put them in now, it started making better actually contact. So yeah, that is a nifty little trick with this microscope, but the thing is too, you gotta remember that I have a very um, if you let me switch to this view. If you look at my microscope, it's got a lot of range. I can come way out. I can move it all the way around, whichever different angles that I need. So I have quite a bit of movement there. So um, it's the microscope that I needed for this type of work because the boards are big compared to the one that I was using before, and um, I needed something with a lot more, and I needed something that I can add a camera on it, and this one I could. You gotta get one of those scopes. I can send you the information, but this one I think with the camera and the different adapters and everything that I needed for it to work right, you're gonna spend a good 1,200 to 1,300. Okay, so I hope you're ready for that. um, but yeah, I mean it is definitely worth it. I mean if I'm gonna do this work and I want to do it correctly, I need to do it. Plus with these lenses that are on this one, I can keep my actually glasses on. The other microscope I had, the lenses were not this big open, so I had to take off my glasses for me to see. So, but my other oh, not the microscope, the actually scope. This guy. Okay, believe it or not, this is made by the same people that make the big one that I have on my desk. Okay, you see, and it comes with only one SE Pro, but that's all you need. I mean, for in the field, so that's all you need. Um, I'll send you the link of where I bought this. I mean, it's a store that's in actually West Palm Beach where I go to every time that I go up to Florida. Um, there's a store there. I don't think that they have any of it right now. I think that last I checked they were out of stock. Um, been working. Anyway, I'll have to find it. I don't remember it. I do. They use their initials for their website. Ah, okay, that's it here. Okay, I got it now. Let me see if I can share, if I can put this on the screen too. Okay, yeah, this is the site that I get it from, and where I searched. At last I checked, they didn't have any more of this small scope. Um, I have one of these here, one of these component testers. This is a scope, but it's a different version of it. This is not the same. Okay. Uh, they may. And I think I only paid like actually $80 for it or something. It wasn't much. I mean, yeah, I don't think they have any more of it right now, but they may get some more. They always. This is where I get. This is where I get my actually sockets from, because again they are. I am right there. I can go into the store and I can pick them up. They may not be the best prices, but the thing is, these are very good quality ones. I really like them, as you can see there, and I can get my hands on them right away, and I bring them down with me. Okay, and I buy all my sockets from actually them. See, and they have all sorts of them. Okay, but anyway, yeah, let me turn that off. Let's get back. Let's get back to the board where we were. Yeah, I like my little scope. What to do with it? It's really easy to configure and work with. And the thing is with this is that I can put it right here down, and I can be testing and I can be seeing it at the same time. Okay, instead of testing and then looking up and looking at my bench where I have my other one. So anyway, that's why I like it. So uh, yeah, having a small one has been very good for me. Very nice. So anyway, to get back to where I was with this, so after I got it working, I first used my ROM. I have a ROMinator, and I put that in here, and I used that ROM and set the actually system booted up. But for some reason, it wouldn't run version 7.5.5. I think it's something with ROMinator and Blue SCSI and OS. So I then fixed up Scott's ROM, because the actually contact pads were very corroded and very bad. So I actually sanded them down. I have these little sticks like this. This is actually sandpaper. I mean, but it's kind of hard. But it's got a sandpaper finish, and it's shaped like a pencil. So I even have a point, and this side is kind of tapered. Okay, I bought these at actually Hobby Lobby. You buy a pack of them for actually $4, $5. And they do have smaller ones, and they do have different actually grit. So with this, you can see how much dirt. I mean, I was just rubbing it across, and I cleaned the contact points. Then I put flux on it with heat, and I used some heat on it, and then they actually wick, and I grinded it smooth, put solder on it, cleaned it again, so they're good now. Um, so yeah, I don't know. There's not much else about the board. I mean, it's basically done. I mean, the only thing I have left to do is this one SIM socket here. I need to change because it is broken. Okay, but everything else works. Reset is working. The audio is working. Everything is working. I mean, it's. I don't know what else. Flint, I had to turn the keyboard off while I was doing keycaps. Oh, that's fine. I mean, you're not here to actually chat too much, really. You're here more to watch me, right? I may become that star after all that I wanted to become. Anyway, nah, I'm not one of those type of people. Anyway, um, so yeah, the board works. I mean, I do gotta say, Bull and his group created an amazing product here. I do like how it is. It's real easy to work on. What I learned from this is the order that you gotta do these things on. Do do all of your low chips first, and then come and do your other ones. I think what I'm gonna try to do next is I'm gonna see about getting some sockets. Maybe I can do a lot of these other ones inside sockets, but it's a surface mount socket that I have to get, and then two, the socket is gonna cover up some of these vias, which I don't know if I want to do that because those vias become very good testing points. So I'm in a catch-22 there about that. So what I do need to order, and I do need to get some, is these actually fuses. I do need to get some of those, and some more actually crystals and so forth that I need to get. Because I've got 9 more of these boards, so I'm hoping some people will want me to do some more. I have one last request for you. Please keep the original board handy. I have a surprise. It's the first live stream transplant. All right. But I was going to ask you on that, Scott. As you can see, the board, it still has some. Are you needing these? You want these? These actually RAM sockets. I mean, although they're the plastic ones, I don't like the plastic ones too much, but I could really use 1 or 2 of them. The rest of the stuff I really don't need, but I will give it a cleaning though for you. I will put it through the ultrasonic cleaning, although there's nothing really on it to actually save and clean. But I'm gonna. Okay, so I'll just take off 2 of them, and I'll leave 2. I'll leave the one that I know that's got some corrosion under it there. So, um, so and I will run it through the ultrasonic cleaning, get rid of all this all this actually a sticky flux that's on there. You can keep anything left over. Okay, anything. Okay. Now, what I'm not gonna take off are the caps because this is truly one of the first boards that was not to me for a replacement of caps. It was here for a replacement of everything else but the caps. So the caps are gonna stay on. This here, I'm not gonna be able to. This connector, I'm not gonna be able to actually get it off. This is not gonna come off either. I don't use these type of sockets, so they'll stay. I may try to take off these 4 here, back here, because they could be handy. But it's so plasticky in there. I don't. Anyway, we'll see. These I melted them a little bit somewhere, but yeah, I will actually clean it, and it'll come to you together with this other one. But yeah, I have to replace that, and I may still replace 1 or 2 chips that are on here because I just don't like how they are. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I may switch those. And now I already tested this. Let me shut it down. Yeah, I find it that it did that once with me too, but then I left it on for a while and it worked fine. I did test it already with the actually internal SCSI and it worked. I did not test it yet with a floppy drive, but I am going to test it with a floppy. I may actually put it in this case completely, slide it in there because it's got a floppy and everything in there. It actually has dual floppy this here machine. Um, so and slide it in there and see how it fits and let it run and see. But yeah, it's back up again. See, it's. I think that if I didn't experiment with that ROM, I would have had this working yesterday, guys. I mean, it's. But I didn't have a ROM socket. You see now, Flint, why I asked you for that link again? I'll have to mount it in a display case, huh? Okay. We'll see what comes with that. Thank you. You see why I asked you for that link, Flint? Because I need to order some of those 64 pin sockets. They say they have 117 of them. But what I don't understand is that they show they have two different versions, but when you look at the information on the two different versions, it's the same part number. It's the same manufacturer part number, but the price is half is actually half the difference. I wonder what it is. I mean, if you go on the site, look at the actually 64 pin same meshy sockets. You'll see two of them, but the internal numbers and everything are the same, but yet the price is double the other one. So anyway, so I do want to test this with the floppy, and we're on a live feed. We're here for a purpose for a live feed, right? I think I have a problem though with this machine's internal speaker. Okay, we're seeing your board going inside the machine. Which it has never done yet. And you'll probably run into the same problem, Scott. Okay, you see how I'm taking out the memory? I'm being very gentle and making sure I use both sides. I can't have the high memory in the back end because of how the case tilts. I gotta put it to the front. Okay, so how do I put these in without damaging? Okay. Wrong way. Okay. There you can see it's good there. I go ahead and I put it in. Good and strong. I go ahead and I open the actually tabs with my fingers holding the plastic pieces here also, and I bring it in, and then I let go of the tabs and I push them behind it. Okay, so be very careful because these are, once they're in, I don't think you should be changing the memory too often. Okay, because these are new, they are new old stock, so don't just come here and boom, boom, and actually bend it in, okay? Because you will break it. That's how I broke it, and I'm glad it broke with me and not with you, and that I can at least tell you. And or else, you see, this one back here is still broken back here. You see that? So this is the one that I still gotta switch, but I can still get it to actually hold the chip for now. Okay. All right. Okay, Scott. No problem. Go ahead and go. You can always come back and watch it. And I mean, thank you too for the work and the opportunity to actually do this. I am the new kid on the block with all of this, but I think I enjoy it, and Try to work on it better. See, now it goes in very well. Something is still not. It's not that wrong. Something is still not letting it slide in all the way. Need to break the piece off the front too. No, I don't. These boards should fit right into an SE. I mean, that was the intention, and hitting the front. But it's down all the way. Maybe that is as far as it's gotta go. Yeah, it looks like it's as far as I gotta go because the power connectors were where it should be. You're gonna connect the top floppy. And let's go with the internal SCSI. Well, no, I would rather use. It's easier for me to do the external. So it's fully in the case. The next SCSI. That giant. And that's there. How long have we been in? An hour, 3 minutes. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna end soon, so. Lynn, for you, it's getting a little bit late too. Okay, so we're in. What I wanted to do is test the floppy. You can see a floppy drive show up. Yeah, but there's still maybe it's already a formatted disk. That's all right. We'll go ahead and format it. So floppy's working. I can feel it formatting. That's what my hand is here for, to feel the ticks as the head moves. Repeat and verify. So the floppy drive works too. So we're okay with that. There is someone on Tindy selling those little clips to stabilize the RAM sim in the socket. I'll have to look at that. I haven't seen those. So floppy made and created. There we go. This one is a low density or dual density disk, so it should come up as an 800. Yeah, it already came up as an 800. It recognized that one. I go and erase that one. It will equal to 800K. Version 755 OS will not do 400K, so I can't even try that. Finish. So my SE30 transfer reloaded project is coming to an end. Like I said, I'm going to replace that SIM socket. I may replace 2 more chips on the board, and then I'll be doing an ultrasonic cleaning on it, getting all that flux off, and then getting all that flux off, and then doing a final test on it. I'll do a final test, and then I will clean the old board also, take those things off of the old board that I want. I'll try to save what I can from the old board. Okay. And then clean this also, package everything together, wrap them good, and so that I'm ready to ship it back to Scott when I get up to Florida. So I'm gonna wrap up this session. And those of you that were watching live, thank you so much. Please do the click on that thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, you have the right to do on the thumbs down, right? I mean, that is your choice. Although I don't think Flint and Scott and Jake and I will do a thumbs down, but anyone else, hey, so be it. Anyway, I really enjoyed this project. I learned so much from it. I learned how to solder better. I'll be applying that to any future projects that I do. I learned some of the problem solving, some of the order methods of this, and how to handle some things about the board. Like I said, I do have 9 more of these, so I will be doing some more possibly. I have a slew of parts. Well, not too much really, but I do have a lot of the components that I need for this. So, but now that I finished this SE30, now the only reason why I also pushed for this to get done quick is because I already started some of it on the Apple III Plus of Jake. I already did the keyboard, but tomorrow I'm hoping to get the power supply. It is on island. It's been in customs for days already, getting cleared, so I should get it tomorrow. All the chips and things that I ordered for that board, if I need them, I have already been cleared and are waiting for me to go pick them up, but I didn't want to go pick them up until I knew the power supply was also there. So I'm hoping tomorrow sometime I can get that power supply, and then I will continue my videos on the Apple III. Again, too, that's a board I have never worked on. That is all new to me. And a very interesting board, a very interesting machine. So this will be the first one, and then I have my own Apple III that is also on the way to me for us to do. So I'll have 2 of these to do. One is an Apple III Plus, which is the one of Jake, and mine is just an Apple III. I already have the monitor for it, and I have on the way to me also a external floppy drive for it. The original one for Apple III. I managed to pick one up at a very good price, and I have that coming also. So I do have some nice things ahead. After this actually reloaded board, we're gonna work on the Apple IIIs. I still have the 2 6100 boards for Jake, for his friend in Sweden to do. I have a VI for Jake that I'm still working on. I have another CI for Mark up in Canada. That is still giving me so much trouble. I haven't been able to solve that one yet. So there are some things. I mean, if you look there behind me, three SE6100 boards. I have a Quarter 950. This is the TI for Mark. So there is the VI for SE Jake. I have my own two actually C down here that I need to work on. This one is actually mine. So I do have quite a few things to work on, um, but yeah. Anyway, so there's gonna be some nice things coming up ahead. So I'm hoping to do more live videos on those. Now, I mean, if you can't be in the live, that's fine. You can always watch it again, broadcasted. But what I like about the live is that it's more of a two-way interaction. I mean, I can read the chats and I can speak them back, and I can answer your questions and things that you have. So one thing that I'm going to do for actually Jake, remember those actually ROM chips that I was trying on this actually SE30 board? They were originally on this sim. Okay, Jake sent me the sim empty with the 4 chips loose. Okay, I mean, here are 4 chips loose in my hand, and so he wasn't sure if they worked or not. But on this sim, I'm gonna try to clean this up and fix this and put them back on, and then actually test it and see if it works, because this is a ROM that is supposed to work in a 2FX and in also the SE30 and so forth. So I haven't given up on that ROM yet. I'm pretty sure it will work. So anyway, that's it, folks. It's Scott. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the opportunity to work on this board. Thank you for all of the support that you've been giving and the postings and things, getting it out there. It is a nice board. It looks very nicely colored inside the machine. It's a shame. I don't even own an SE30 yet. You know that? I don't even have my own either. I have SEs, but I don't have an SE30. So I need to get my hands on an SE30. Mark said he was sending me one that he had that was giving some trouble, so he was sending me one in exchange for the boards that I worked on for him. So hopefully that's a full unit, and that I don't know what he's sending me exactly, but hopefully that will work, and I'll have an SE30. So anyway, but I could always try to do multi-stream, but I haven't got the webcam. Yeah, true. But I do have a microphone. Yeah. No, well, you don't even need a webcam. I mean, you can just put up a picture and just chat. I mean, that's the thing. I've never tried that actually multi-stream thing, the same thing that all these other people do on this channel. Like actually, Dave's actually retro tech was doing today. All of the big names were on there with them and chit chatting. They seem to do that every Sunday afternoon. They have a round table, and they're just chatting around and fixing their things and that. So maybe one day I'll become big enough and I'll become liked enough that I will be asked to join. But then again, it's okay. It's all right. I'm happy and content with actually what I'm doing. So I'm not here to actually make a million, because I can't take it with me anyway. So I'm okay the way I am. I live comfortably. I'm okay. So I'm doing this for my own satisfaction and the fact of I know how, and I can restore and save what I grew up using. So computers that actually taught me a lot, that I am honored to work on and enjoy. So anyway, I'll end the session. Flint, Scott, thank you so much for y'all two being in the chat and back and forth. I hope you all like this and learn from it, and I can't wait for my next SE30, actually a transfer. So I thought about actually pre-doing some of them, because I do have a lot of these chips and things that I need. But then that puts me back in my dilemma that I'm doing things out of order. And again, I would rather save my parts and only use them when I really need to. I'd rather use the actually originals from the person's actually donor board. It does mean more things I gotta take off. Okay, but I can't tell you. I think I went through one whole tube of flux. Okay, and I think I went through one whole roll of actually wick. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this quite often. I think I need to buy flux and wick by the case because it's things that I use like crazy a lot. And actually alcohol. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I had to fill up these actually small little bottles that I use. Okay, this one is empty. I gotta fill that up again. Oh, I must have filled them up like 4 or 5 times. So, and all my tools or a lot of my things are all sticky and that. So I definitely gotta go back and clean everything up. Um, but so you have an idea too. I mean, even like these are the chips that I took off from the board and that. So I mean, I do save them too. I mean, I have them separate. So because some of them I think are good. So in a pinch I may use them. So anyway, that's enough chat for me. Flint, you have a good night, a good evening. Say hi to your dad. I'm glad that you got your keyboard. Scott, what are you still doing here? I thought you were going. I thought you were leaving to go. So yeah, we'll see you. Okay, get out of here. I'm gonna end the session anyway. So anyway, all the best everyone, and thank you for watching. And I don't think I'll be doing another video tonight, but tomorrow for sure, probably Apple 3. Okay, guys. Thanks everyone. Y'all have a good evening. Alrighty, bye bye.